Hiya, my name's Ellen. I've just finished 18 weeks at TEAM Bootcamp, and this is my story. Before I came to camp, my life was in central London, commuting quite a lot every day. It was in a false lit office and working very long hours and not giving myself any time at all other than work. My days consisted of working and going out with friends, eating whatever I wanted, drinking whatever I wanted, sleeping if I could. And it came to a point where I realized that I needed something more than that. There was something fundamentally wrong with the way I was living. So I started seeking out other options. Before camp, emotionally, I was as low as I've ever been. I had written myself off a few years beforehand, and I was just going through the motions and emotionally not there. I came to TEAM Bootcamp because I needed to enjoy my life. I could see I had a great life, but I wasn't enjoying it. I was living life every single day, but I wasn't there. I was just going through the motions every day, and I wasn't appreciating anything that was happening around me or who I was with. And I came to TEAM Bootcamp so that I could have an opportunity to actually enjoy the wonderful life that I actually have. My first day at camp was an experience. I came to camp actually with an injury that I had been diagnosed with for about 5 years previously to camp. What I've now learned 18 weeks later is it was a 5-year excuse. My first day at camp, I was doing burpees I wasn't doing burpees, but I was learning what a burpee was. I was with all new people, I was nervous, but I was excited to be doing something different than what I had been doing before. It was a great group to have started with, and they carried me a lot of the hard times that came later. But my first day at camp was very, very fun. What I remember most about my first week, I remember the people that I did it with. It was hard, but we all struggled. Everybody that was fit or there was a few people that were really fit, trained a lot, but I remember us all coming together, all cheering each other on. And I still have a WhatsApp group with them on, and they were cheering me on my final week. So 18 weeks later, that family mentality is still there. My biggest fears about camp were who was going to be there. Not knowing what I was getting myself into and knowing it was going to be a long time, but they all quickly disappeared with an open mind and absolutely gorgeous people that you meet when you're here. My biggest highlights at TEAM Bootcamp. It's too many. There's too many. My biggest I think it's for me, from my journey, my biggest highlights were where I learned the most. So what felt like a failure at the time ended up being things that I learned more about myself than I ever knew. So my biggest highlights were running a 5K, even though I didn't even have the energy to get out of bed that day, or to mentally break through some barriers that I had put up myself for many, many years before I even knew or came to the TEAM Bootcamp. My highlights are the incredible relationships I've built with people, the friendships I've made, the laughters I've had. There's too many to count on highlights, but it's all been fantastic. One big highlight. My 3 lowest points at camp were around what I call now a suitcase of of baggage that I had been carrying with me for many more years than I realized. I came to camp thinking that a certain incident had affected the last 5 years of my life, and it turned out to be an incident 10 years ago that has caused me the most pain. The 3 lowest were revisiting one of those incidences, but then the next day, my lows are combined with highs. So I had that incident, struggled, didn't know, would not normally know how to get out of it, but the team helped bring me back and sent me out on something to refocus, restructure, and rethink about how I was approaching that low moment. So I ran a 5K in sobs of tears, but it has turned out to be one of the biggest pinnacle moments in my time here. My second lowest was a fear of not being able to understand what was going on inside of my own head. That moment where you can't think straight, where you don't understand what's going on, but everything around you is fine and there's nothing really to be getting worried about. I then spoke to the team again. They were so supportive. They got hold of me and they just told me to change my state, go somewhere completely different, rethink about what is happening. Don't worry about anything. It's all about me and what I'm gonna do. And I went and I ran a hill, which, bearing in mind I couldn't run around the paddock when I started, is a funny thing to say, but I ran and I didn't stop until it was so naturally beautiful I had to, and it taught me presence. And then my third lowest moment was when I made myself quite unwell through anxiety and stress. And when the team all came together, every member of staff, and they all helped me, give me the best advice, make sure that I was taken care of, and they all helped me realize that I was scared about something I have no control over, which is something quite easy to do, but I knew I was in a safe place, so I knew that I was able to work through that and get to where I needed to be, which is learn from that experience, and now I'll be able to deal with it going forward. My funniest time at camp was probably July 4th, because as you can probably tell from my accent, slightly American. But I dressed up myself, always one up for dressing up and having a bit of a laugh, but I managed to get one of our trainers, who always calls everyone a silly sausage, dressed as a hot dog, and it was probably my funniest moment, seeing his face. In order to succeed or do the best you can at TEAM Bootcamp, you need to have an open mind and an open heart. You need to not allow barriers of what you think. You need to be able to listen and be receptive to new advice. Think about things differently, and then you'll succeed, because while you'll have your own experiences, you're going to be surrounded by loads of people that have probably gone through something similar, and then you don't feel so different and so isolated and so lonely. So if you have an open mind and you listen to lots of different experiences and different ways of approaching problems, then you're gonna find the right solution for you. Some standout boot campers for me are Daniel is always going to be top of that list. Daniel was a fantastic camper. He came in and I think threw everyone slightly at the beginning, but he turned out to be absolutely a legendary human, and so caring and thoughtful and just himself, which was great. George as well, same. It's very easy to come to camp being so nervous and afraid, but actually once you realize you don't have anything to be afraid of, you can be your genuine self. There's so many, there's just too many to mention, but my first roommate, Izzy, as well, really set the tone for what was happening for the rest of my time. She taught me about Again, open-minded, don't judge a book by its cover, and open heart and kindness. And it was fabulous to meet her my first week. I'm excited about the future because it's completely different than what I thought it was going to be when I first came to camp 18 weeks ago. I've been at camp for a while now, and I've gotten to experience so many different things. So my future is now what I want to make it to be. And I would never have had the confidence to say that, or the self-belief that I would actually be able to be in that control and that ability to do what I want. And it's only down to it was a process. I did fight it and try and make it go as fast as possible, but learning patience and giving myself the ability to catch up with my brain and my ambitions has taught me that I can do it and I should go for it. My advice for anyone thinking about coming to camp is to just do it. You would be surprised. You'll and ah, you'll have your own expectations of what you think it's going to be like, but until you're actually there and you're meeting people and speaking to everyone, there's actually nothing really to be nervous about. I completely appreciate why everyone is, and it is hard, but if you don't challenge yourself, you're never going to get to what you can make the most potential of yourself. I've challenged myself a lot in the time that I've been there, the last 18 weeks, and I've reaped all the rewards from it now. So I would say just go for it. Give it a go, and what have you got to lose? My results at camp, where I now look at a photo of myself when I arrived, and I actually don't believe it's me. I joined at camp at 220 pounds, and I left camp at 165 pounds within 18 weeks. There's a lot of graft, there's a lot of hard work. My biggest result, I would say, is when I arrived at camp, we have an area that we train in called the paddock, and I couldn't run around half of it without stopping. I can now continuously run for up to an hour through the training. My fitness level is above and beyond. I went to my old PT that I used to train with about 8 years ago. He couldn't keep up with me. He was shocked at my fitness. So my results for me is how much stronger and fitter I am, and I love it, and I don't, and that's gonna be that's what I'm gonna go forward with and take on as well. So my 3 words to describe my time at TEAM Bootcamp. One is patience, because I needed to learn it, but bootcamps taught me what patience is and how rewarding patience is as well. I think that's a key one. Fun. It's so much fun. I'm sad to be going, but that's from all the fun people that I know are going to be going forward and doing things they never thought they'd be able to do, and that's the best part. You challenge yourself, but you can accomplish great things. And the last word I would use is love, which sounds a bit mushy, and it doesn't sound like it should go with a boot camp, but everyone wants everyone else to succeed, and it's too easy out in that wide world for everyone to just think that no one cares about them. But realistically, you'll learn very quickly that everyone wants everyone to do well. You just got to find the right people to be with. So at boot camp, you learn again what it is to actually have love around you, which is really nice. If I was to talk about someone coming to camp for 1 week versus someone coming to camp for a long time, for 12 weeks. If you're coming for 1 week, you're gonna have a different experience, but you're gonna be giving yourself opportunities to reset. You're gonna give yourself a chance to challenge yourself and also see whereabouts you are. It's gonna be very difficult for the first week. If you're thinking about coming for a longer period of time and you're there for more than 1 week, you are entering into the opportunity to really tackle those issues that you've been struggling with. to do something completely different and wild. And if you have that chance to take that time off, I couldn't recommend it more, because all of a sudden everything that was hard the first week begins to feel slightly easier. So the longer that you can stay there and the longer you can learn about yourself and you can really find inside you what it is that you want to do. And you can do that here, and they have all the facilities to do that, and everyone is so well educated, and the biggest thing about this place is you will always feel safe. You will always feel safe with the trainers. You will never feel neglected. If you fear about hurting yourself, you don't need to worry about how hard you push yourself, because the trainers will be watching you and they'll know about you and they'll have fun. And that's the best part about training. And you can learn all of that the longer that you, if you can, and you have that opportunity, I would